kept reverting back to their musical talents in that song.
After kissing their ass throughout this entire match, Corey Graves decides to berate The Miz and John Morrison for their music tactics. What a freaking hypocrite.
Hey, hey, hey!
Corey's weird obsession with Miz and Morrison's new song is really pissing me off. Here are 5 sins. Let's get out of here. Cool to see how AJ Styles became the new Intercontinental Champion last Friday on SmackDown. However, what does this have to do with Backlash? Neither AJ nor Daniel Bryan are scheduled to compete on the card, so why are we showing this? It's not relevant to the pay-per-view. Also, would you bet that the only reason this awesome Intercontinental title match took place on SmackDown rather than at Backlash is because WWE didn't want any competition for Edge and Randy Orton in being the best match of the night. Edge versus Randy Orton, the greatest wrestling match ever, but I think AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan was the better match of the night. That would sting for sure.
The champ could have taken the night off.
You mean you're not taking the night off? All you're doing is an interview about beating Daniel Bryan and becoming the new Intercontinental Champion. You don't have a match tonight either. So in other words, AJ Styles actually is taking the night off, making that statement awkward.
The greatest champion in WWE history.
It's a little time to celebrate with his family, you know, and celebrate.
Honestly, I'm removing a sin because of Samoa Joe's creepy facial expression upon mentioning AJ Styles' family. Flashbacks to their awesome feud throughout the second half of 2018.
When is Lashley gonna let Lashley out?
I'm with MVP on this one. He's saying exactly what we have all been saying since Bobby Lashley returned to the WWE in 2018. Come on, Bobby, show us who you really are. Also, perhaps the reason Lashley hasn't let Lashley out yet is because that character only exists in TNA, whereas Bobby Lashley is the existence in the WWE. Lana is honestly getting pissed off for no apparent reason. Could it be because Bobby Lashley has a new friend to hang out with? Or could it be because her actual husband left the company, leaving her to fail into obscurity? Pick your choice, guys. I can't be the only one who actually thought for a second that Paul Heyman was the one announcing Bobby as the next WWE champion instead of MVP, right? Right? Also, premature introduction of a wrestler becoming champion when that doesn't even end up happening in the actual title match.
I will personally play a role in that outcome.
MVP blatantly admits that he plans on interfering in the WWE title match to help Bobby win the title, which doesn't exactly help Bobby look good in that case.
The best version of Bobby Lashley.
Really? Because I have still seen better versions of Bobby Lashley. Hell, I'm not even afraid to admit that Bobby teaming up with Donald Trump 13 years ago was a better version than what we see now.
Look at the calmness in the eyes of Drew McIntyre.
Honestly, when I looked at Drew McIntyre, I didn't see calmness. I saw intensity and rage. Where did you see the calmness, Tom?
Has been a fantastic representative.
Drew McIntyre hasn't somehow Claymore kicked MVP's head off immediately for getting in his face. Sure, it would cause Bobby to attack him from behind, but at least Drew got rid of the distraction first. Pre-match assault.
The match has not begun.
Thanks, Tom. I totally believe that when Bobby locked in the full Nelson on a still dressed with a jacket Drew, the match had begun. Also, what happens if Drew passes out and cannot answer the referee asking him if he can start the match? Bobby doesn't realize that if that happens, the match is immediately declared a no contest.
You're gonna need a lot more men to pry him off.
Or how about get Samoa Joe in there? After all, he's just outside the ring of the commentator's desk. I'm sure he could help out.
Maybe it's not a smart decision for Drew McIntyre to compete.
And now Byron Saxton wants Drew to wuss out and declare himself incapable of competing all because of a minor ambush. If that's the way he thinks, I'd hate to see how Byron would look as the WWE champion.
Resonating through the arms.
You know, it would have been cool if Drew McIntyre went through this entire 13-minute title match without once removing his jacket, even when he poses with the title at the end of it all.
Drew McIntyre is in the worst shape that he's ever been in.
Oh, come on, Joe. All that happened was a full Nelson. Do you think that means Drew is in the worst shape he's ever been in? I could name several other times when he was in worse shape. It's not like Bobby literally ripped his arms off or anything.
WWE title opportunity.
Honestly, if I were Bobby, I'd keep that jacket on Drew or put it on him backwards to give me a better advantage. It'd be unfair, but it's an advantage.
And a bridge! How many 265-pounders can do that?
Quite a few, actually. About 10 years ago, that type of feat was uncommon. These days, almost every guy over 6'5" and 250 pounds can do that.
Effortless power of Bobby.
It may likely cause me to put in the copyright infringement sin, but Drew should have attempted the full Nelson as a form of payback on Bobby. Might even lead him one step closer to victory.
Title cannot change hands via...
Yeah, we know. Shut up.
Whoa.
The referee is not even telling MVP to stay away from the competitors like he normally would. I guarantee the referee is on MVP's payroll as well.
Lashley hoist.
You failed.
Finish the job.
Yeah, that looked like it hurt, but after Bobby failed the first time with lifting Drew on his shoulders, seeing him try again in take 2 was kinda cringe. Sorry, but it usually doesn't have the same impact if failed the first time.
Oh, and Lashley, as good as he is on offense,
Normally, I wouldn't say discount Shawn Michaels, but I gotta say it since Drew hit a flying clothesline, landed in the same way Shawn would have done, waited a while, and then kicked up. So that's a discount Shawn Michaels. If the match was still early, I'd understand, but Drew took a shitload of punishment, both inside the ring and outside the ring. So to see him kick out at 1 is not a believable thing. Just saying, he's not freaking Superman. It's good advice, but MVP is yelling his instructions so loudly that Drew is being alerted to what's coming and has many ways to counter. Winner of Backlash 2020 to bring you anytime a parent is trying to take the resisting child to the dentist. It's crazy that Bobby makes it look like countering the Tombstone Piledriver like that is the easiest thing ever. Also, since when has Drew decided that a Tombstone Piledriver would be added to his arsenal of moves?
Time for a countdown.
See what I mean about how counting down as loud as you can is a stupid plan when setting up the Claymore kick? Now Drew pays the price. Fucking Lana always ruining everything for Bobby Lashley. Surprised it's taken so long for Bobby to consider a divorce, to be perfectly honest.
Oh, give us a whoa.
Wrestler runs into his partner/manager and ends up losing the match as a result, cliche. And it was so painfully obvious that this was going to be the end result based on Lana talking to MVP backstage and trying to get involved in the match itself. So here are 3 sins.
We're getting word right now.
Just like I mentioned in part 1, it is absolutely ridiculous to hype up an actual title match in the ring between the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders, only to have a brawl outside instead. Would have been just fine if the brawl happened without any match being announced whatsoever.
Title match tonight. Oh, that's Braun Strowman's call.
This brawl has only started and I'm already laughing. I gotta remove a sin for Braun Strowman having such bad luck with his vehicles in hilarious fashion. Although I'm putting that sin back because it's a damn shame that we never got to see Braun's reaction to his car being destroyed yet again. That would have been fucking hilarious. Also, after The Miz and John Morrison caused utter destruction of Braun Strowman's car, it makes me wonder why he decided to park it in the exact same spot where it was before, thus causing a replay of destruction. At this rate, WWE has completely overflowed the usage of cinematic matches. It was cool when they weren't commonly used on every pay-per-view, but now this is the 4th consecutive one. Well, then again, this isn't technically a match, more of just a brawl, but you get my point. Also, no offense, but this is the least interesting cinematic match in the few short months that WWE has done though, because at least the ones at WrestleMania, Money in the Bank, and NXT in Your House had something on the line. All this brawl had was one fight, another fight, and into the dumpster we go. The Street Profits played The Last of Us Part 2 and got inspired. Oops, I already said that earlier in the first part. Also, building reserve for professional wrestling recruits, training, and today's tapings of WWE events somehow thought that this place needed 2 sets of golf clubs on the very case that Donald Trump was going to stop by. What? At least the Street Profits found golf clubs in a bag nearby. Meanwhile, the Viking Raiders literally summoned these shields like Rey Skywalker transferring her lightsaber to Ben Solo. Oh, come on, this shit's nearly impossible to not laugh at. What do you bet the Street Profits intentionally ran to this area because it was more air-conditioned than the storage room? I know, right? You guys faced off and stared each other down just to not fight, run into another room, and do the exact same thing you were just doing in the other room. 45 seconds of slowly putting down weapons. It'd be a lot more fun if it wasn't taking freaking forever to do something. As if this brawl was not long enough, now we gotta look at literal flashbacks to what previously happened in these competitions. Sorry, Montez was watching and could have easily caught the bowling ball before it hit him in his Fords. Damn, that was actually pretty awesome and brutal. Who would have thought that a brawl designed for comedic purposes only would actually include brutality? Nice. You both just went through glass. How are you not fucking bleeding all over the place? Apparently getting thrown into the glass somehow triggers the turkey leg cravings. Well, I once got thrown through glass and got a sudden craving to sit in the WWE. Worked out for everyone.
Man, this escalated so quickly.
Angelo Dawkins trying to take my job. Not gonna work, fam. When it comes to anything you can do, I can do better. None of y'all stand a chance against the sinful power in me.
Take this outside. We outside, fam. What you doing?
You're never gonna be a WWE sinner! This reveal of Akira Tozawa being the leader of this ninja group would have been better if we didn't get a close-up of his clearly visible face before he removed his helmet. How? Seriously, none of these assholes had any sort of weapon with them when they started to fight outside the Performance Center. But when they decided to team up, they just magically gained these weapons? You're gonna have a hard time trying to convince me that this is logical. Unlikely allies teaming up to take out an army? We interrupt WWE Backlash to bring you Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. And I got this weird feeling they're doing this on purpose. No. Wow, I've been saying it for years and WWE finally did it. They actually did it. They actually brought the literal force into their company, and that just ruins my jokes about it, so screw you! That turkey leg was in a bush for a long time. Are you sure eating it is a wise move right now, Ivar?
Got this one, guys. No, you don't.
The Viking Raiders are masters at sword fighting, right? So why are they so freaked out at this big guy with a sword? How much longer is this gonna fucking last? Judging by this camera angle, it's clearly obvious that Ivar missed everyone in the dumpster. Oh well, maybe next- wait, no, I don't want this to last that much longer. Also, I looked it up. This entire cinematic brawl lasted for only 10 minutes. 10 minutes! Yet it felt like a freaking half hour. That's not a good thing.
Your match is next!
Wow, that was a lot of voice cracks in one single sentence. This referee's probably not used to shouting.
You're cute. You? Not so much.
WWE looked at the success they made with Otis being called cute by Mandy Rose and decided that the same thing should be done for the Viking Raiders. It's one thing to remake previous storylines, but to remake recent storylines is even worse. And y'all gave me shit for making so many Star Wars references. Now we got these guys literally reenacted the trash compactor scene from the very first Star Wars movie.
Greatest wrestling match ever.
The following scene did not show Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania 25, so you lied to us.
In a straight-up wrestling match.
But there was no flips, there was no super kicks, there was no crazy-ass gymnastics. Flippy flips and super kicks make wrestling. This wasn't a straight-up wrestling match. Oh, shut the fuck up.
The greatest wrestling match ever.
There is no way in hell Shawn Michaels could say that line without fuming in anger at his own performances being downgraded by this tagline. I'll be honest, this song is awesome. It gives me chills looking at the histories of Edge and Randy Orton with the song playing in the background. Wonderful addition of the referee wearing the old school outfit, as well as Randy Orton not taking his sweet ass time heading to the ring like he normally does. It's time to get down to business instead of wasting time. While I know the fans in attendance were cheering and chanting throughout this match, the one thing I didn't really like was the obvious recycled audio from previous events. So to ensure that we don't bring it up for the remainder of this match, here are 5 sins.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall.
You seriously couldn't CGI this thing to say WWE PC instead of Madison Square Garden, a place we're obviously not at? Although, damn it! You got me in the feels with this epic tribute to the late great Howard Finkel. Rest in peace to that amazing legend, the greatest ring announcer of all time.
This match can be won by pinfall.
Pre-match instructions. Why are we having these instructions in this match, but not any of the other matches that ever took place?
There will be no hair pulling.
Well, this is kinda awkward. Charles Robinson declares that there will be no hair pulling, but only said it to the one guy who actually has hair in this match. He should have directed that at Randy instead of Edge, because how is Edge going to pull Randy's hair at all? Also, since there will be no hair pulling allowed in this match, I guess Edge is shit out of luck when it comes to pulling his own hair during his preparation for the spear.
No eye gouging.
Thank God they're not wrestling at Extreme Rules next month.
No choking and no low blow.
Literally all these rules given to both wrestlers were thrown out the window throughout this 45-minute match. Ceiling cam, or drone, whichever one it is.
Greatest wrestling match ever.
We should honestly wait until this match is at least over, or close to being over, before we determine whether or not it is the greatest wrestling match ever. Also, where the hell is this camera angle coming from? There wasn't any cameraman visible in the previous shot, so don't try and pull that cinematic stunt on me.
Here we go.
Another thing I want to point out is the commentary throughout this match is also pre-recorded from what's actually going on, as Samoa Joe was heard saying, "Here we go," but his mouth clearly never moved when he was visible. Just like the recycled audio, I'm adding in 5 sins so we don't have to bring up the pre-recorded commentary becoming visibly obvious at certain points of the match. You're welcome.
You said it's going to be the greatest match ever. That remains to be seen.
Thank you! Samoa Joe is literally the only guy here tonight who actually acknowledged that a match can't be the greatest ever simply for existing. Props to him for being a voice of reason.
Pace here. Now look at these arm drags here for
Kind of a good thing that Randy backed away before Edge could connect a third arm drag takedown because Edge was pulling the trigger way too early and wouldn't have been able to make it look believable. I find it absolutely hilarious that Byron Saxton and Tom Phillips are watching this match via their TV monitors despite how close they are to the ring. Meanwhile, Samoa Joe is watching the action going on inside the actual ring. Joe makes it look like watching the TV screen is a waste of time if you're at the desk.
Now sending Edge for a ride. Edge able to slide underneath.
The first time, it looked believable that Edge slid underneath Randy, but the second time, Randy was randomly flailing his arms around for whatever reason, making himself look like an idiot who doesn't know what he's doing.
Edge doesn't have the same ring cardio that Randy Orton does.
Wow, Edge, a guy who's been absent for 9 years, doesn't have the same cardio as Randy Orton? How would I have ever figured that out? Wait, what? How did a clothesline from the second rope cause Randy to be lacerated like that? If it was the way he landed on the ring apron, his head never hit the apron, and Edge's clothesline never hit his head where the blood is spilling either. So what gives? More magic?
Emotionally charged isn't
Anyone notice Charles in the background suddenly bending over the outside of the ring? What, was he not feeling well and had a vomit for a second? Or was he knocked down by an invisible demon haunting the performance center? Earlier, the referee was strict about the rules of no choking, but completely ignores the fact that Edge's arm is underneath Randy's chin, resulting in a choke. What an idiot.
That submission put the Viper on his back.
Well, technically it put Randy on his front, given Edge hit him with a concerto afterwards. I know, I'm really nitpicky, but that's how the show has always gone and how it will always go. Gotta once again give props to Edge for selling that backbreaker properly and making me feel more concerned about his neck potentially getting re-injured yet again. Am I supposed to be shocked and look around with my eyes wide open all just because Randy Orton said fuck? Because the only reason I'm removing a sin is for the violently calm way Randy threatened to murder Edge. Great threatening by that vile snake. Randy Orton threatens to kill Edge, and to prove it, he throws Edge back into the ring and goes to pin him? I'm sorry, but when you immediately go for a pinfall after threatening to kill someone, it really takes the threat away.
I'm not sure Edge is going to be able to break this grip for Randy Orton.
Byron Saxton somehow has missed every single one of Edge's matches with Randy Orton, even this one.
Flair is in attendance here tonight. No need watching this.
Ric Flair is no deed watching this match? The fuck does that mean? No deed?
Hold their hands up. Right into the chest.
The chest? Really? Edge clearly got hit in the jaw, and he's even clenching his jaw in pain. Yet Tom Phillips believes that it was Edge's chest that took the damage. His logic absolutely blows.
That's instinct. Oh, that's not.
Yeah, great instinct.
An intentional shout out to Christian, and somehow the commentators did not pick up on the memo. Randy, you might want to consider pulling the bottom of your trunks down. We don't need your Ortons poking out. As cool as the shoutouts to some of the best wrestlers in WWE history was, this goes on for about 10 additional minutes to this already way too long match. Complete with a near fall every single time too, might I add.
Trying to turn it around.
Beautiful counter by Orton.
Damn, I gotta remove 3 sins for those amazing series of counters. Counter the kill switch, counter the leapfrog, counter the RKO, right into the Edge-o-matic. Fucking awesome.
It's turning into result.
Hey ref, Edge is breaking the rules. You said no pulling hair. He's pulling hair. Disqualification. Since Edge was paying tribute to Christian, what he hit was the kill switch engage, not the unprettier. Jesus, Tom, get your facts right. Hate to say it, but these two really took the effectiveness of so many legendary finishing moves and made them look like regular moves that can easily be kicked out of.
Up we go.
You know, I'd be totally fine with these guys hitting countless finishing moves of other wrestlers if they didn't keep going for pinfalls after each one. Take out the pinfalls and it looks cool. Add in the pinfalls and kick out every time. You make those moves look fucking weak. Here are 5 sins because this was way too much.
Hey, nice inside cradle.
Actually, that was an inside fail, Joe. As much as I like this match and the way it ended, I think it would have been better if it ended right there after the first RKO. After over 40 minutes of punishment, not to mention countless finishers connected, that RKO out of nowhere would have been the perfect ending. But instead, we're going to keep playing the kick out until we run out of finishers card.
Bring it on Edge. Here comes on. No! And another. Oh!
Fucking what? 1 spear? Sure. But 2 consecutive spears? What's the point of even calling these effective finishers anymore? They're killing that term more than NXT does. Here are 100 sins.
Oh, now Edge. Edge in the corner. Oh, the Viper! No!
15 to 20 finishing moves later, this match is still going on!
Down! Oh!
Yep, it had to come down to a low blow for Randy Orton to get the final advantage of this way too long match.
Looked like he went low! Oh! Randy has...
Sure, this match was severely flawed and overhyped as the greatest wrestling match ever, but damn, I gotta remove at least 50 sins for the out-of-nowhere return of Randy Orton's devastating pun. And thankful that this match can finally end after the 22nd finishing move.